What a night. So, I wasn't going to do another poem, but I got a request. So before we close it out with this young man, Q, who will be dancing, I'm going to share a piece. And trying not to have a coffee fit here. And I'm going to share a piece. Actually, we're going up to Washington Heights this weekend to shoot a video for this piece, and we're in the studio last week. I'm very excited about it because we added this, melodic structure to it, and so it's going to be kind of cool. But it's called Where I Grew Up. Some of you have heard it, some of you may not. And I am going to use the microphone. Let's see. Okay. I grew up with the clack-clack of dominoes landing on makeshift tabletops to set upon milk crates. Bodegas filled with the sweet smell of white cheese and salchichon that as a child I called chachichon. Who knew? A 50-cent piece, please. The corner icy man shouting piragua, piragua. Yeshiva University and yarmulkes. This was my neighborhood, and I loved it. I loved it just because I knew I belonged to something greater than myself. I was living amongst historical giants like George Washington and Malcolm X, whose lives were resurrected from the concrete beneath my feet. Buildings and bridges were built to honor their names. So as I stood next to the 4 tall buildings that seemed to touch the sky, I imagined I could leap them in a single bound because my mind was never bound, that they would be the bridge to connect me to the rainbow. And I would grow up and share stories of these days. There were no white picket fences, but there were plenty of dreams. My friends were like Fat Albert and Bebe's kids, Little Rascal, Charlie Brown, and Peanuts all rolled up into one. But we were called the Bridge Kids. We were being flavored by salsa, merengue, Afrocentric, Cubano groove, good soul music, Cadillac, gangsta leans, and all that. The Heights. This is where I grew up. In my hood, most folks gave a damn about someone else's child because they gave a damn about their own child. The word village was more than a 7-letter word or a catchphrase. And poor meant that you were born rich with a sense of ethics. We were strong back then, built with courage. Because fist fights never turned into gunfights, which turned into pack fights viewed on YouTube Saturday nights. We were never somebody else's fool. And our assets were not where our ass sat. We were taught it was where our mind sat. Amongst Art Deco buildings with a view, this was the neighborhood where I grew. Between 2 currents, the East River and the Hudson. My thoughts flowed like a stream into an ocean. Entrepreneurs I was influenced by. Drug dealers kept the streets clean of robbers, rapists, and thugs. Cops made deals to catch kingpins. And I became a little hustler. My product? My imagination. I grew up to become a distributor of dreams because I hung out with the fathers at the number hole where the library and church all resided on the same block. So you can learn math, read, and then pray that your numbers hit. This is where I grew up, my experience, my life, in un lugar pequeño que se llama Washington Heights.